Okay, so let's bring it all together in this final video. So the secondary source led us to a lot of good stuff, but we should also just do a basic search of, case law. So we could use the statutes annotations. We could shepherdize a known case, like we could shepherdize Campbell, which would be really smart. Go to the outline, use the search bar. There's a lot of different things that we could do. So let me just run a couple of those really quickly and see if we find anything better than the three cases we've already landed on, which are Campbell, Henley, and Bourne. So I'll just run a search here. Now I'm going to look in the Sixth Circuit because the Eastern District is there, and of course the Supreme Court. And for now I'm just starting with fair use, new lyrics, whole music to see if we get anything. And of course I need to run the filters because right now I'm looking for cases, so I'll click on cases. Okay, Campbell came up, so this is feeling good. We're probably on the right track here. So I see Higgins. Let me just read that for a second. So I'd probably add Higgins because it's similar. It's from the Eastern District of Michigan, so it's from our actual court that we're in. And it looks like they kind of did the same thing where they used the music but maybe changed the lyrics, so we'd want to look at that one as well. Okay, I think I might consider adding Zomba as well because that's about a karaoke manufacturer who just stole the music and they're like, yeah, there's no fair use in that. So that's very similar to ours, unless we can make that argument that our lyrics are saying something about Hey Jude. Okay, so I just added Zomba to my plan. Okay, so that's about it from just doing a search. So now let me do another approach, which is to shepherdize a case. So this is the big Campbell case. That's a big Supreme Court case. So this will have, or should have, every kind of parody type case citing to it. So I just got out of reading mode here, and if I go to citing decisions, it will show me that there are 749 cases that cite to it. And first of all is this Google one, so that's kind of a beautiful thing. So our treatise told us about that. We already read it, so we kind of already know about it. So now we can just read through here and see if there's anything on point that we need to know about. Now, of course, 700 is way too many, so we'll want to use keywords to kind of search through here to see if we can't find something that is on point. All right. So I just wanted to show you how to do that, how to do citing decisions, and then from here we need to use the filters on the left and bring it down to things like, let's look at only the reported opinions. And then let's look at, binding stuff. So stuff from the Sixth Circuit and, the Court of Appeals. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals and from the U.S. Supreme Court. So we can get it down. So now we got it down to 19. So these are going to be the binding cases. So we'd use these as well. Anyway, I don't want to take a lot of your time going through this, but you get the idea. Now we're starting to see some of the same cases. There's Zomba, there's Bridgeport, Zomba. Right, that's not a music case. So you're starting to see that no matter how we do the search, we're kind of going towards the same kind of cases. Now Henley and Bourne aren't showing up because those are from other jurisdictions, and we've limited this to just the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. So as we broaden it, we'll find other cases. And then, of course, we did the keyword search. This is shepherdize. The other ways we could do it is use the outline, like go to Westlaw and use the key number system. We could also go to the statute and look at the annotation. So there's a lot of ways to find case law. I obviously can't show you everything with this problem, but you get the idea. Okay, so we found a lot of black letter rules. We found cases to analogize to. We have 2 to 4 cases. We'll end up, I would say, in the final analysis, I'd say we're going to use Campbell, Henley, Bourne, and then Zomba from the Sixth Circuit, and maybe that Bridgeport case pending final review. But that's probably what we'll end up using. So I'm going back to the fourth step. And now before we finalize our document, we'll do a shepherdize. We'll check every case to make sure it's still good law. And are we done researching? I would say yes, we are done researching because, I did a lot of searching outside of this, but basically I did all of this searching for cases, and no matter what, I kept coming back to those same cases. So that tells me that those cases are good ones to use. Now, how would this actually look in a memo form, for example? And it'd look like this, where you begin with your codified law, your elements, and then you focus the reader. Remember the issue. The first goal of research is to find the issue and then refine it. So here's our issue up here, and then refine it to, okay, the issue then becomes whether these 4 factors weigh in favor. And then we have our main rules here, rules on fair use. Obviously none of this is a really, really rough draft. It's an outline, really. So the Supreme Court in Oracle said to start with nature, and so we would do that. We would apply that to our facts. And that doesn't bode well, because we're doing a work of fiction, and it's harder to have fair use of fictional work. And the purpose of character, that's where satire versus parody comes in, and we have a lot of law for that. So that's going to be probably the biggest one. And then we have our rules down here for these other 2, and some of our cases will fill in for substantiality and market effect. They'll fill in and help us out there. But I didn't update this for Zomba or Bridgeport, but we'd put that in where it goes, probably under this big factor, purpose and character factor. And then, of course, after each factor, like here's factor 4, this is where you do your reasoning, your rule application. This is the A of Iraq, obviously. So the arguments that we thought of while we were doing this would go here. Now, for this big factor number 1, the big reasoning rule is that hey Prof says something about hey Jude, and so we would need to prove that and analogize to our cases to prove that that is what indeed happened. Using that Born case, when you wish upon a star, would be helpful, because that's where they stole all of the music and changed the lyrics, and the court was cool with that. And so we need ours to really look like that the Born case. And then we would distinguish Henley, and we would distinguish Campbell. And then obviously we can distinguish Zomba because we added lyrics. So at least 50% of it is transformative. So all of that would have to come out here. But that reasoning all came from our research. So that's the time to capture it, to think about it, to write it down. Okay, so I think that should do it. If you're still with me on this one, you are a strong person. I hope you just fall in love with the law and fall in love with whatever kind of attorney you become. And, your research and writing teacher their professor is always there for you, even after the class. So you can always come back and talk to us. But anyway, good luck, and I'll see you back in the book.